Hello, wherever you're watching from, you are most welcome to Cross-Cultural Experience. Now, this is a forum where I talk to people, to come and share their ideas, people who have left their cultural origin and they have gone to another place, either to live or just to visit, and then they share their experiences and then, more importantly, what they learned from that visit. It's always very exciting. And we try to make it as exciting as possible, this forum. So it's not every time I bring in somebody. I can do it myself or do something else that keeps you coming back to watch the program. Today, the unique thing we're going to do is to look at communication. As you know, communication is something where you have to have shared meaning. You don't have shared meaning, then you're not communicating. Now, let me share some of my experiences. The first time I went to Kenya in East Africa, and I was coming from Nigeria, and I wanted to do something that has to do with, government papers, a government office. So I was told, oh, now you have to go to Nyayo House. I said, okay, wonderful. Where is near your house? The person was looking at me. I said, yeah, there must be a street. Where is near your house located? It was an issue. I discovered that then, not now, in Kenya, the new places by the houses. Nyayo house, this house, that house, electricity house, whatever, Uchumi, there was the Uchumi, where you go to buy something, Uchumi house, and people knew where those houses were. But if you were a visitor, you'll never get to know. The people who knew about the houses did not even bother to know the streets where those houses are located. So if you are just visiting, you'll be lost. But the people are okay. They knew where the houses were. Some of us who come from some developing countries, especially in Africa, our sense of direction is something else, you know. So you come, the first time I got to the United States and I was asking, oh, how do I get to this place? And I was told, okay, you go west and then you go 4 blocks. Did I know where west was or east? That's not how we give directions in Nigeria. Nigeria, they tell you, okay, you keep going. When you get to that red building, then go left. By the time you go left, you'll see another woman who is selling something on the streets. Don't stop. That's not the place. Keep going. That's how we give. So giving direction in Nigeria was a theater. It was dramatic. And I guess in so many African countries, the one that kills me is when you get to that tree, don't stop. Keep going. Then when you get to the other place, there is somebody there, then you can ask that person where you're going. So by the time you get to your destination, maybe you have 2, 3, 4 people would have helped you along the way. But people don't get lost. All right. The same thing with driving. And so it got me confused the first time I came to the US. I guess the same thing in Europe. You ask somebody, how do I get to that place? And they say, oh, just a 2 hour journey. 2 hours? Okay. Then you ask a Nigerian, the same thing. The Nigerian will tell you that it is 50 miles or 100 miles in mileage, not in terms of time. So it took me some time to get to notice the difference. The guy in Europe or in the United States has good roads, lives in an environment of good roads. So it takes you 2 hours to get there. The Nigerian, bad roads. So it just tells you in miles, 50 miles. So whenever you get there, it's up to you. You might get there tomorrow. It doesn't matter. He's just telling you. So both of them are right. It's only the way people communicate. So you have to understand, recently, you won't believe this. Recently, I was in Kenya. I mean, I used to live in Kenya. I mean, I'm from Nigeria, originally from Nigeria. And so I got there and I was looking for something. I was told, oh, that office, is on the first floor. So the first floor, yeah. I said, okay. So with my, that American, I was just laughing at myself. So I went to what actually should be the ground floor, looking for it. I said, this office is not on the first floor. It's not on the first floor. I looked and looked, and I said, first floor? No, it was not on the first floor. It was actually, you have to climb, take an elevator or whatever it is to walk up to the first floor. The first floor is not the ground floor, it is the other floor that is called the first floor. But here, that one would have been the what? The ground floor. So then that one, the other one, the Kenya, I was my confusion actually. It is actually the second floor. If I was in America, so I go to the second floor. It was something else. By the time I realized what was happening, I said, "Oh my goodness, you've lived for too long. You need to understand, that these people say this is the first floor, this is the second floor. In Kenya, in Nigeria, not this floor. This is the first floor, and then you move from there." And talking about where you live, also, in Nigeria, in Nigeria, and so many English-speaking areas, you're now looking for where? Oh, I'm looking for a flat. Now, if an American were to be in Nigeria looking for what? They will say, I'm looking for an apartment. And then this other person is looking for a flat. They're looking for the same thing. But because of the way they communicate, there's no shared meaning. So if you are in Nigeria or in Ghana or one of these English-speaking areas, you will be looking for a flat. I guess it's the same thing in India. But after flattening yourself, you now come to the United States, you'll be looking for an apartment. One of the things that I also experienced is, you go for driving tests in order to get your driver's license. And then the person who is conducting the test, okay, now you back up. I said, what? Back up to where? Why am I backing up? I'm not looking for property. I'm not looking for anything. No, I mean, you back up. I said, well, how do I back up? Then he explained how to back up. I said, oh, my Jesus Christ, this is what we call reverse. Put the gear in the, reverse the car. And that is back up, so just like I said, this is just a matter of communication. You have to have shared meaning, especially if you've not lived for too long in that society. And so if you go to Nigeria, for instance, and then maybe somebody's asking, you're asking, oh, why are you late? So the Nigerian or will tell you, oh, there was go slow. Then you wonder, was there a riot? What caused the go slow? This is not an engineering thing. What's go slow? But the American will tell you it's traffic. So there was traffic. That's why he or she did not get there on time. For the Nigerian, it's go slow because of the way the roads are and cars are just moving like this. Go slow. That's what it means. Now, here is an interesting story. A friend of mine, somebody I know, came to the United States and was employed somewhere. And then she was told that you have to put on black pants. And then I said, oh, okay, there's no problem. If that is a dress code, that's wonderful. So she comes to work wearing something that was not black. And then the manager was saying, but I told you, I mean, we have a dress code here. You have to wear black pants. And the lady was saying, yes, I'm wearing black pants. They said, no, you're not wearing. And the lady was like, how do you know I'm not wearing black pants? The guy said, I'm saying it. There was confusion. It turned out that because the lady was from an English-speaking area, when you say black pants, when you say pants, it's the underwear, not the pair of trousers. So he was wondering, how did this guy see my underwear? Am I not dressed okay? So it took some time. Oh, no, it's pants. All right, we have black pants. tomorrow. Okay. Another thing that came up fairly recently, maybe in the last 5, 10 years, I discovered that all along West Africa, now you want to get to your destination and you want to get fast and you have the courage, then you take a motorbike. But nobody calls it motorbike. In Nigeria, it is called Okada. That's there was I think Chief Ibinedia who established an airline. It was called Okada Airlines. So they just named the motorbike Okada because of the way they fly and disobey all rules of traffic. So almost everywhere on the west coast of Africa, it's Okada. Then you travel to East Africa and you're looking for Okada. You will never find one. Why? Because it's called Boda Boda. So you think, oh, you need to use border. You think somebody's taking you to the border between Uganda and Kenya. No, it's the same thing. But there are two things. This is how I'm going to end it. Two things that really, capture my attention each time. Now, in Kenya, you ask somebody, habari, how are you doing? Habari yako. Instinctively, the person will say Mzuri sana, meaning I'm doing okay, I'm fine. Then you look at the person's countenance and you say, but you don't look fine. The person will, oh yeah, I just lost somebody last night. Then why are you telling me Mzuri sana, you're fine? Are you fine because you lost somebody? That's just the way they communicate. It's automatic to say, I'm fine, Mzuri sana. Then you can now tell about your troubles. Not so in like Nigeria, but tells you immediately, hey, ground no level, meaning that something disastrous has happened. So immediately you ask, they tell you the story. But the Kenyan will go from Zuri Sana to now let you know what's going on. But on a more positive note, I was in Ghana. Friend told, oh, Charlie. I should say Charlie. My name is not Charlie, but I was very polite. I didn't want to argue. Okay. Then we went another place, Charlie. I said, who told this guy that I'm called Charlie? Charlie. Only to ask questions and realize that it's just a way of calling you my friend. You are not Charlie. Charlie. So when next you go to Ghana and somebody say, oh, Charlie, how are you doing? It doesn't mean that your name is Charlie or Charles. Okay. So what have we learned? The learning is that, especially when you're just visiting, for the very first time, or you just moved there it's always nice to understand how people speak, how people communicate, so that you avoid incidents of miscommunication. Because as I said, communication means what? You have to have shared meaning. If you don't have shared meaning and somebody said, I'm very fine, Zuri Sana, then you can walk away. And the person will be wondering, you didn't even ask me how my dad, who was in hospital yesterday, you asked me, but of course you told me you're fine, everything is okay. Charlie. Okay, that's how I end it. And if you want to be part of this program, you can get in touch. It is called Cross-Cultural Experiences at gmail.com. Remember the S, cross-cultural experiences at gmail.com. I'll get back to you and then we'll continue. The real intention, I told you, is to get somebody. But from time to time, we try to spice things up. After all, they say variety is the spice of life. Bye for now.